Hello and welcome to ReGrow Tech India. I am your host, Dureen Ayab, and I'll be taking a few basic concepts on Java today. Let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen and show you the IDE Eclipse. So here is one simple line of code that is written and we are going to try and execute it today. Let me first increase its size. There we go. I'm hoping that is visible to you now. Now, this is something extremely basic that you can see. So let me just walk you through whatever I have written. First, we are starting off by writing a package name. This is something that one must create before creating a class. It is always a good practice. Now then, we have defined a class called prop1, considering this is our first class. Then we have defined a main function inside the class. And after that, we have written a simple print statement. Now, understand that Java reads the code from line number 1 and always from the left to right, meaning it starts by reading the definition for the package, then the class, then the main function, and then it comes to the seventh line, which is where we have printed our statement. I'm calling it seventh line, by the way, because it says line number 7. Okay, please do not get confused. I understand this is just the fourth line of the statement or of the code. Good. So let's see what is written. Those of you who are even a little familiar with Java would understand that in order to print anything on Java, we write System.out.println. Sometimes you might not see ln as well, considering ln is written to print something in a new line. That being said, what are we printing here? So whatever needs to be printed should be written inside these cute round brackets. Now, mind you, when I say this, inside the round brackets, you will write whatever it's to be printed. We will see different ways of printing different things here. However, we'd start with the easiest one. So here we are printing ReGrow plus tech. And I hope you understand that this will be concatenated. Now, those of you who do not understand this, let us understand the meaning of concatenation, shall we? Let me take you to the whiteboard first, and from there we'll move on. Give me one quick moment here. Okay, so the whiteboard it is. I hope you can see my whiteboard now. Here we go. So we were talking about this term called concatenation. Let us see how it is written. Now, concatenation simply means joining of two words. It could also mean letters sometime. But let's stick to words. By the way, in Java, words are termed as strings, something we will circle back on in our later videos. Now, that being said, let's talk a little more about this concatenation. So what is concatenation? Simply joining of two words. How is that possible in Java? If you simply use two words, in our case ReGrow, and the second word being tech, and add them. Simple terms, add them or join them. Now, if you write something like this, you will get an output something like this. ReGrow tech. Now, understand that our computers are extremely stupid beings. It do not do anything until unless we tell it to do so, right? So here's something we need to understand. If we have not written a space here, it will not give a space. Okay, if we do write a space, it will give a space. Let's say after ReGrow, I give a little space. Okay, let me go back to Eclipse, and as you can see here, I have given a little space after ReGrow. Okay, so let me first run what happens without the space. So let me run it right here. Without the space, no space. With a little space, as you can tell, there is some space now, right? Easy peasy. Now, let's move on, shall we? So here's another statement that I'd like for us to print. So we have this, and I'm gonna just quickly change it. Okay, let's save it. Now tell me, what do you think will be printed? Yes. So here also, since ReGrow is a text, it will simply be joining with 1 and assume that 1 is also a text. And hence, if we run it, we'll get ReGrow 1 with no problems. It's same as what is happening with ReGrow Tech. Similar thing is happening with ReGrow 1. I hope that is understood now. Let's print something else then. Cool. So now, how about I change this to this? Now, what does that do for us? Now, I want you to take a little pause here and think of what your output is going to be. And once you play your video back in, I will be telling you answers. So, I hope you have already came up with some sort of answer. And if you have, let's see and run the code, see what happens. So here we go. Okay. So your answer or your output is ReGrow 1, 2. Now what happened here? Actually, nothing much. Since like I told you earlier, the systems or the Java starts reading your statement from the left-hand side. It has started by reading System.out.println, which is to print a statement, and then it read ReGrow, which was in double quotes. Now, since that was in double quotes, it is a text. Since it is a text, Java starts to believe that the next things that will come after it will also be a text. Hence, it adds or rather joins 1, 2 as 1, 2 / 12 and not 3. Okay, so typically, if you think about it, you would have gotten something like this. Let me show you. Oops. Okay, let's just move on here. So I'm gonna go here. Typically, this was expected. ReGrow +1 +2, ReGrow in double quotes should have given ReGrow 3, but it won't. Because as soon as it reads from the left side, as soon as Java reads ReGrow, it considers the next thing is going to be the text. And hence, instead of getting this, you get this. So 1, 2 gets joined as to one another, making it a 12 rather than 3. Hope that is understood. Now, let's see some other statement. So going back to Eclipse, here we go. Now, how about I just do a minor change here. And instead of writing 1 + 2 in the end, I write somewhere here. Let's see what happens. So this is what we get. That's a little cheeky of Java, isn't it? So when we wrote ReGrow +1 + 2, we got ReGrow 1, 2. But when we wrote 1 + 2 + ReGrow, we are getting 3 ReGrow. That's a little bit of googly, isn't it? But actually it is not. Remember the last statement I gave you. I told you that Java starts to read from the left-hand side, right? Here also it starts reading from the left-hand side. However, as soon as it started reading from the left-hand side, in this case, it got the numbers 1 + 2, which got added to 3. And then when the text was added to it, now text cannot be added, it can be concatenated. It already had 3, so it concatenated with ReGrow. Cool? That's pretty cool, isn't it? That we are getting 3 ReGrow, but when we wrote ReGrow plus 1 plus 2, we are getting ReGrow 1, 2, right? This is something that actually pops in a lot of questions, in a lot of interviews where someone wants to confuse you. I hope if you could just remember this, this might help you for something important. Now, moving on, let's see another piece of code. So here we go. Okay. Now, what if I change my code just a tiny little bit and I go back to my previous code that I had written earlier, and instead I also add tech? Will it do a difference? Will it make a difference? Again, you can pause and think of what your answer is going to be. And once you've thought of it, you can play it back. Perfect. I think you have already answered the question. Let me run it. Here, we are getting ReGrow 1 to 10. So like we said earlier, starts reading from the left-hand side. It read ReGrow, which was a text. So the rest of it is assumed to be a text. Hence, we get ReGrow 1 to 10. But one tiny change can actually change the entire game for us. Let us see how. Now, if at all I put brackets and on 1 plus 2, then we still get 3 instead of 1, 2. Now, the reason is actually quite simple. Here, just like in BODMAS, I hope you guys remember BODMAS, right? We used to first try solving brackets. Bracket was given the utmost importance. Here also, some similar sort of concept is used. Brackets is given importance. Hence, 1, 2, which is in brackets right now, is given the priority and it is calculated as a number which gives you a 3. Now that first gets concatenated to ReGrow. So it starts reading from, of course, the left-hand side, ReGrow. And then it joins to, again, it can't join to 1 and then 2 like it was doing earlier. So it will have to first go in and solve the brackets. It will solve the bracket for 3 and then it will go to tech. You can try with any numbers here. Let's say I go just change this to 12 maybe. And hence we'll get 13 because in the brackets it gets the priority and it gets solved. Okay. I hope these concepts that we discussed today was easy enough for you to understand. I am hoping to bring to you another video pretty soon. And until then, please like this video. And if you liked it a lot, if you want to share any insights, I would love for you to put in your comments in the comment section. Thank you and have a great day ahead. Bye bye.